All right, all right, all right, all right. It's another day. Good, I'll be back. All right, so yesterday I started a toy project to try and build a guest book. So I'm here in that directory. Let us see what we did so far. Did I commit the change? What did I say is the commit? Oh yeah, I did. So it was just the commit message is day one. Let us open up. Is the font too large? Or is it okay for the stream? Alright, so yesterday we were able to just create a default layout that we don't actually need because we have only one layout. But yeah, I was I was struggling with remembering all this stuff after years of relying on LLMs for everything. But it was a pretty clear experience. So far, we've been able to only do a small section, the markup, uh, some terrible styling over here. Yeah, and before we continue, opening the terminal from inside the editor is cool, but it is a lot more keystrokes than I would like. So let us change that today. So I'm just gonna quit. Then I'm gonna call upon our multiplexer called Max. Yeah, the OG is no screen, GNU screen. Uh, you can go and check it out to see what has improved with Tmax. I love just discovering where software came from. And previously you had screen. So it multiplexes your physical terminal between several processes, typically blah 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 blah. Yeah, sorry for digressing, but I just like sharing these tools. Yeah, but personally I'm using the modern version because I'm more knowledgeable in it. So we're gonna do Tmax and as every lazy Unix user, we don't remember the commands. We just press the up key, up key, up key. Then we're gonna create a new one here called GB, which is short for guestbook. So we're creating a new section and attaching it to the current directory, and we're calling it GB. Then we're gonna Tmax, rename window. We'll just call our first window editor. All right. So if you check down here, you can see our first window is called editor with index 0. I can change the index with that, doesn't matter. Let us now create a new window inside our current section. So the first window will be for NeoVim. Then the second one will be for scripting and other stuff like npm install and stuff. So we're gonna do Control B, then C. So we've created a new window. Then we're gonna rename it to, this one will be named scripts. All right, so let us split it into two so that we can have one section for the dev server and another section for the general other scripting. So yesterday I was using a terminal inside my editor, and that one is a lot more keystrokes and I do not find it efficient. So I prefer, let us do this today. and let us see how much fun we'll have. All right, so Control B, then 5, Shift 5, which is the percent sign. Now we have 2 pens. Then the first pen, let me do Control B, left arrow. Then here we can just do PM dev. Then cool. So this can continue forever and forever and forever, even when I close new vim and stuff. And oh, sorry, Control B, previous window, Control B, right arrow. Then here we can run general scripting. So let us, for example, do localhost 3000. So far, so good. Let us see our 404. So far, so good. All right. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. So this is how we're gonna be moving. So if you ever want to run a script, we just move to this pen and do the magic over there. And let us see how today will go. All right. So Control B, then previous window, then just open nvim here. Then let us open our app.view pages, index.view. So this is where we left things at yesterday. And let us try and see what it looks like in the browser. All right, so just a sec, we're there. All right, so let us do localhost 3000 and voila, our very ugly website. So if you look here, let us just analyze the things yet to be done. All right, so this name and the label and the input should not be on the same line. One should be on top with full width, with nice padding. The text area too should capture the full width of its container. Notice there is container queries in CSS. I have not looked into them. Yeah, but luckily for the purpose of this stream, you are allowed to Google, and we can also learn on the fly about this stuff. So yeah, let us try and fix this stuff. All right, so, or I can leave like this, then fix later. So functionality first, then beauty later, or let us make it look like an adult, not an adult website, like a mature, okay, that sounds bad. Like it was made by a grown-up, not a script kiddie. And this is the challenge now. Being a person who has lived almost all their lives in backend, CSS is the worst thing for you. Because now, the first thing first, I do not even have a design. I have to come up with a design in my head. I should have designed first, then at least try and follow the design. But here, I'm looking and trying to see what I can fix. And that is our main challenge over here. Okay, anyway, let us stop complaining and what do we do? Go back to the editor and try and fix that mess. So let us look at our styling and just try to imagine what it is doing. So the form is the main container containing these divs. Then input, the width is 70% of the container. Okay, so this div, there are two things inside this div. There's a label. So if we do, I hope this will work, and label, I'm guessing. Like I know what CSS things do, but I don't know how to make them do what I want them to do. All right, so let us just do 100% too. And I think width will display inline, label will display inline because it is a label, of course. So if I'm right, it means I'll also need to what do you call this? I'll also need to make it display block. And let me hope I remember that correctly. So, all right, so it did not solve our issue. So we have a problem here. So width, it should be 100%. All right. So that is more like what we want. But now there's that extra annoying space. So here inside the form, because it's the parent container, we can play around with padding. So I'm just gonna use padding top and padding bottom. It's easier. I know CSS gurus know the shorthands, but you can just do padding. Then let me see if we can have them with a signature. So values for padding area. If left is omitted, I don't want to remember all this stuff. So let me make my life easy. Padding top. Yeah, I'm not even sure I should be using PX. Should it be padding or merging? Okay. Then padding. Padding left. Let us try a big number, like 100 px, and see the effect. I'm putting 100 px padding. No, let me try start with right. So sorry, I'm not showing what I'm doing here. All right, so let me do padding right. Yeah, so all we needed to do was to do some padding magic. This is too much, so let us put this like 15. I'm reverting the padding back to 15. Then, or I could just do the shorthand. Let me stop being scared of the shorthand. So padding is that space between the borders. So I don't know which is the first. So I'm just gonna do 115px. So it should cover all of it. So we've kind of solved our problem. Then here, let us do for the entire form a border radius. Yeah, ideally I should create variables for all the common things I'll be using. Like things like the border radius is something that is repeated. So if you wanna, and this is why I'd advise people to just use Tailwind, because managing a CSS code base is not easy work, especially if you're a person who's doing the entire stack of development. Like imagine you've just been from designing a database, then you've designed a message queue, then you're fighting latency, you're fighting connection faults, then you come here to start doing this design stuff. So it is so much work, and Tailwind allows you to just what do you call this? Tailwind will allow you to only worry about your markup, and it will take care of everything, including removing the styles that you don't use. And you can imagine the code base is still small, but we're already struggling with managing the CSS. I've tried nesting, nice things, and I'll also need to try CSS variables to just make things work. Anyway, so I should have a variable for things like border. Maybe I should, but not in this scope. So, but let me just do, I remember, what was my border radius for the other one? I think 5px. Now that's the main challenge. So when you work like this, refactoring is gonna be pain, because when you say sprint 1, 5px is okay. Then sprint 2, they want all border radiuses to be some other value, or maybe relative with calc and stuff. And now you have to go through the entire CSS code base to find all these values and replace them. So that is the main challenge of this. Okay, let us see how it looks for now. All right, so I've made an issue. CSS should just show errors instead. Yeah, so this one should be border radius. That way. I think there's a shorthand for doing this, but I don't want to do that. All right, so now the parent of the form should be able to center it in the page. Should I do that in the meantime? I don't think the other border radius is 5px. The input has a different border radius. So input border radius, it is 5px. It doesn't look similar. All right, so input. Let us do another 5px for the padding here. All right, so let us just see how this looks like. All right, so let us be generous with another padding. So YY, then put, then padding. The browser is very friendly in that CSS issues won't throw errors, but which is good, you can ship a bug in the CSS. But now the problem is that it is hard to debug. So we need sophisticated tools to be able to do that. All right. So I think the input is bigger. Let me just see. Yeah, it is. It's a big size. So I think you can also adjust the font size, but I leave it here because it looks like a form made by an adult at this point. So maybe just try and center it. And yeah, centering divs is one of the biggest problem in computer science. Man, I've tried for years. Scholars have tried, but no one has been able to crack it. Anyway, that's a joke. Let us try and see if we remember centering it. There are several ways. Previously, before we had CSS Flex, let us just go to MDN. Let's see. So before we had Flex, I think there's Grid and Flex. So Grid is the newest. So before Flex, we used tables to center divs and stuff to just build the layout out. But now we have at our disposal, we have Flex, and there are all these things you need to remember about Flex. So Flex is a shares certain property, how to flex an item to grow. Yeah. And you can see cool examples here, like Flex 1, that is the size, Flex 2. So this is for individual ones, and you can do Flex grow. So that is if the parent, if the parent is also display Flex. Yeah, I googled the wrong thing. So it says display Flex. Doesn't it just feel good to always go to Flex? Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, so but anyway, so there is Flex, then CSS grid, which is newer. So this is how you can do grid. Grid is nicer and more sophisticated than Flex, in my opinion, but it doesn't support all the browsers. So yeah, but I don't think anyone is using a browser older than 2017. Yeah, if they do, and maybe you're building a software as a service, then this is a bad customer for you. Yeah, just don't support them. So yeah, you can see the cool things you can do with grid. Yeah, like you can just describe the layout, one FR, one FR. I don't even remember what FR is. Don't specify the set of initial value of the normal shorten. So we can do grid auto columns and stuff and stuff. So let me do from muscle memory and see how we can flex, how we can center our thing. So should I center it from the layout or okay. So we have a form here. So I can skip nesting. So we only have one section here because our CSS is scoped. So we can either do this. Let me just nest the entire thing. I love nesting. Who doesn't love nesting? All right. So section. Then just add this over here. The CSS should break for a second on the page. I expect it to. I expect it to break. Why haven't you broken? Yeah, anyway, so I think every other form will have the same style. So this should have the same effect, and the ampersand here. So if we go to here to our page, yeah, pretty much. All right, so nesting is fun, nesting is cool. And I think one advantage I can see with nesting is that now it is easy to track down where specific changes, specific styles for specific things are. Like for example, if you want the styling for this, you just know you go into the nested form and you can be able to do the magic from there. This, let us try. So we can do display. Then let us do flex. So now the parent is a flexbox. Let us see the effect. It should shrink or something, if I remember correctly. Or do I need to reload the page? Let me see what's up with my servers over here. Control B left. Yeah, oh yeah. So just restarted the server. Let us see. So Control B previous. All right, so let us do the CSS debugging thingy. See if this thing is working. Border 1px solid red. It is not working. Now it's working. It was waiting for me to come to the page for it to refresh. Anyway. Okay. Okay, so our debugging is over. So once I display flex, we need so we don't want to center it exactly at the center of the screen. Because we'll have some other things below it, so we just want it to be centered horizontally. So was it justify content? Then we put center or something, right? Let us hope that works. Yay! We did it! Centering a div is so much fun. So if I wanted it to be centered exactly at the center of the screen, yeah, because you've seen my debugging. Let me go back here. Because you've seen my debugging, so display no border 1px solid red. So you've seen so the reason I'm putting this because I want to show where exactly this this section ends. So this means even if I select it to center vertically, it will still be vertically inside this red container, right? So, but if I want to also center it exactly at the center of the screen, I'll need to do something like height. The height of this should be 100 vertical height or something. Now, and now this is now the problem with flex. The child is flexing. So I'll need to manually adjust this. But now you get where I'm going with this. So I'll need to manually adjust this, then now center it vertically. And it will not be vertically the entire screen because you can see the layout is sneaking up there. So it will be just around that area. So that is with flex. But I'd recommend to use, what do you call the other one? It is slightly more complex, but you have more control. CSS grid over this. Anyway, let us remove this. And cool. We have our form. Yeah, so we forgot to style the text area. So the input, can I do a comma here? Then say text area. I'm just guessing. I'm sure something like this is possible. Please be possible. Yeah, it is. So every child in the text area, they share the style. And then we are missing one more thing. We're missing the button to send our greeting back to the backend. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. So where am I in this screen? Okay. So let us do our button. Should I also should I make the button full width also? So because I don't know. So let me just try here. Button or input submit. The more semantic one is input type, then submit. So this will remove this. I think so. I don't remember how input submit looks. Oh, sorry, I'm showing the wrong screen, not the thing I'm doing. Yeah. So I'm debating whether to use input submit, but I don't quite remember how input submit usually is. So back to our friend MDN input submit. All right. So I don't quite remember. So establish this one since 2015 has been value. All right. So the value will be the thing over here. If you omit the value, it will just say submit additional attributes and stuff. So yeah, instead of putting a button inside there, so we want the form to submit naturally, even though we'll hijack the submit event with Vue.js and do magic with it. Yeah, so it will automatically do the action. So what I was worried about was more of the styling. So let us see how we can do that. Okay, one input type submit. All right. Okay, let us just do, so the value, we can say our value. Oh, sign guestbook. Is that how we write guestbook? Oh yeah, so here's another neat feature from, I think, Nuvem. So if you press Z, then where's the equal sign, I think? It gives you suggestions for spelling. This is built in. It's not even a plugin. So I think the correct one will be the first one. Then I just select this. Yeah, and I can also do stuff like spell check. Was it spell? Yeah, I don't quite remember, but there's a command for setting the spell on so that it can help you with spelling, and you can also set the language for it so that you can automatically do cool stuff like that. Anyway, so back to the browser, let us see what we have here. Yeah, it is quite a button. All right. Or let me just do button so that I can style it differently. Because I think the way I've structured my CSS, I think if it's gonna pick it as input, it's gonna use the input, the styling for the input, and I don't wanna use classes in styling because we are scoped, so we are safe. So let me just do button. Button. Then let us say something like sign guestbook. Then let us see how that appears. Yeah, pretty much. So it can be easy to now inside our form, inside here, there's a div. So let us come here and style our button. All right. So let us do, so the thing with buttons, we can do padding. Padding 5px, 5. I love 5px for some reason. All right, so it has a nice padding. Then margin from everything, margin. Let us also push things away from us by 5px. Yeah, but the left part is making it look ugly. So we only need margin top here with that. Cool, 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 cool. Then the background color. Then we could style the stats, but not now. So background color, let us give it blue, or let us do teal for some reason. And see, then the text should be white then, because of the teal. So text, the styling I think is color. There's nothing like text color. So let us do white. Okay, okay, now border radius. Border radius, again, 5px. All right, so we could increase our padding to up to 7px. Nice, let us see. All right, so we've just done some magic with our form. We can say our markup is ready. I will modify the layout later. So this is good enough. We can beautify again later. Yeah. Okay, 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 okay. So what else is left to do? So we can commit these changes. So this is why I had this other terminal for stuff like this. So Control B, right arrow should take me to the right pane. Then I could, if you press enter, I can see I have some dirty changes. So if you have git status, we can see there's one change. So using git add o should not be a problem. Then git commit. Then you can say, you can call it a feature, style the form. Let me just call it, we only have one form. Then done. So if git log, you can see our new commit. All right, I just did something I didn't want to do. Anyway. Okay, so let us go back and continue iterating. Now, now we've done the styling, we have a form. So the process is that this is a guest book, like I mentioned yesterday. So one, you can come to this website. Let's say it's John Doe's website. Then you find a book. Then you sign your name that you're here. Then you can say the message you want to say. Then you're done. So the next logical step, we are doing CRUD in stages. So first of all, you have the presentation layer of not necessarily the greetings, but now a place to input that information. So most people would begin from backend, which is a logical step. But for the purpose of this stream, I just began just anywhere because I'm doing the entire full stack. So if there's anyone who's blocking me on the backend, it's me. All right, so the next logical step would be to capture this input and be able to submit it somewhere to the server or elsewhere. right? So this is Vue.js. Nuxt is basically Vue on steroids. What just happened here? Why are you suggesting that? Oh, all right. Okay. So our language is TypeScript. We're good. All right. So we want to be able to track the input. Then after the input is being tracked, after tracking the input, we should be able now to capture it and submit it. So there are several ways we can do this. Let me just go to okay. So there are several ways we could do this. So should I go to the browser? I think I should show this. Control, what's happening? So there's several ways to actually do this. So if we go to Vue.js refs, not that one. So the main thing we need to do here is the model with Vue. I need to specify its Vue. Yeah. So this is for another thing. This is not for what we're doing here. Let me just form input bindings, value, text, event, target value. So Vue model is the shorthand for that. Composables, built-in transitions. So there are watchers. Watchers just watch for stuff. So reactivity fundamentals. So we have ref. So I think in the React land, we have something called use state, which tracks mutations. So in Vue, you just import ref. Here we're not going to import because it's Nuxt. It does auto imports. But we have ref where you can track one field. So this is state. So this single line is declaring state. So we don't need getters or setters. This is a complete state. Then as you can see how it is being modified. So for you to mutate it, you just count dot value. So it is a constant. So meaning you cannot mutate a constant, but this is a proxy. What do you call this? It's a proxy object. So if you go to MDN again, proxy object. So under the hood, it is something like this. So the proxy object enables you to create a proxy of another object, which can intercept and redefine fundamental operation of that object. So yeah, maybe you can go through this later and just see what it does. But under the hood, you see you can be able to have some reactivity. Yeah, so this is the bare bones, so it's not going to be as fun as the one from Vue.js because Vue.js has taken the complexity away. But under the hood, it does that. So that is one of the things, and it supports TypeScript under the hood. So another one is let me just there is also computed properties. So this is still state. So most people prefer use this for forms. Uh, it can help in most cases. So you have an object called other, which is reactive, and it has a name and stuff. But I don't know, for some reason, I don't like using these ones. But you can see it is a good way to also automatically track state and stuff. So before that, let us just do, yay, my name. There's my name here. I'm everywhere. Anyway, so let us do something fun in this. So I want us to anything that is input here, I want us to print it down here in real time so that we can see what you're talking about. And we're gonna use refs. Reactivity could work, but I prefer for small forms like this, let us just use ref so that we can treat each and every input as a separate data object. Yeah. So when forms get complex, I hope maybe the course of this stream should be able to get to a complex set. But when it gets complex, refs are going to bite you. So you'll need more sophisticated approaches because in a real world scenario, the things you're not talking about here, you will need to capture the input. You will need to validate it in real time. You'll need to give user the proper feedback, and you'll also need complex validation logic. You can't just say, like for example, for the email, you need something real time, something complex, and maybe even something that will also ping the backend to ensure that the email is not taken by another user and stuff. So it starts simple and fun until the project grows, and now you start saying bad things. And I hope we'll get there so that we can tackle the complex problems here too. Anyway, so let us do here. Let us go back here. So back in our form. So I said, so the first fun exercise we're gonna do is should I just put it on top here, on top of the form? All right. So we want to track all the inputs, then just print them down here in real time. So we just create a constant, then the variable name, then this is TypeScript. So meaning I can do, okay, so I don't think I remember correctly. So I need to type it. So I love starting with undefined. So how did we use to type this? I think you can do this now in modern Vue versions. So string or undefined. All right. So I'll prefer undefined to null. Yeah. So here we're gonna just come here and do we print name. So to print stuff, let us just create. Should we create a div here? Okay. So this will bite us. This will bite us. This will bite us. This will bite us. Let me see. Okay, let me see. Let me hope it won't mess up our style. But a good thing is that it is temporary. So we can just do this here. Okay. We'll just create a div here that we can do here. So we can say name, then interpolate. Oh, sorry, I need one more. Then we do our name here. Oh, I'm always closing Vim accidentally. All right. Okay, so that's it. So if I check the signature of this variable name, you can see it tells me it's either string or undefined. So if I go back to the browser, uh, is it here? If I go back to the browser, yeah, you can see how the styling is messed up. Yeah, because and the reason why I can't, should I just proceed with this? Okay, let me put it somewhere else. So this one is displaying flex, so it will affect the layout of this, and it's a div. Let me see if I do p here, it will be nicer because this one does not display block. Okay, so let us see what happens. Yeah, I'm not happy with it. So let us put it here. Shift V, P. Now let us see how that looks. Yeah, I think that is okay. That is okay. That is okay. Okay. So if when I go back to the page, if I type the name, nothing is happening yet, right? So we want to be able to capture whatever is happening here. Safari is still predicting my contacts. Anyway, so whatever I'm typing here, should be able to automatically transfer to this the place. So let us go back here. So to be able to do that in Vue, it is as simple as just doing vModel. Then we bind it to our name variable. Sorry, okay. B. So should be able to just bind it to a name variable. So this is two-way binding. So if someone else mutates name, some other script, the form will be automatically updated. Yeah, and you can bind it to as many places as you want. And yeah, so it is two-way. So whatever input comes into the input, it will update the variable. If someone updates the variable elsewhere, it will also update what's available here. So that is how we capture the input. So let us see it in action. All right, so let us see our thing in action. So if we do J, why are you doing this to me? I should put autocomplete off for the purpose of this stream. Yeah, so I needed to refresh. No! Yeah, anyway, so you can see anything I type here is automatically reflected on the other side. So that was just a demonstration that whatever I put in here will be captured and then into a nice variable. Then this variable is what we're gonna submit it to the server, and the server will process it, and someone will be able to sign our guestbook. All right? All right. So back here. So let us just remove this. So for the purpose of the stream, let me just autocomplete off because it's leaking things that I want to be leaked. The email can do the thing. Yeah, so browser do not autocomplete my things. Anyway, so let us now yank this line, put it down here, then call this email. Then yank that again, put it down here, then call this one message. All right, so I don't think text area is supposed to be model. I'll double check. But what's remaining to do here is just to do v model equals v model. So this one is our email. Just like that, we've captured it. So I don't think text area is supposed to be model. So let us just, text area is slightly different. So let us just double confirm. So input, basic usage, multi-line. Yeah, so in text area, yeah, it supports. So interpolation inside text area won't work because use view model. If I remember correctly, in the previous versions of Vue, we had to do the first one. And I think this is why this exists here. Or maybe I'm just being gaslit. So it's a good thing that A works. Or maybe I'm just remembering my own things. But yeah, view model is okay here. Okay. So ID text area, so view model. So this is our message. And just like that, you're able to capture input. So this will be able to capture input. So if we want to submit this to the server, these are the variables we'll use to submit. And as easy as clean as that, separation of logic, styling, and the template area. Now, so what should be the next step? Now, if let me just go back to the browser and let us see. So if I type my name here, I am John Doe. I told this thing to stop auto-completing. Ah, you're killing me. Okay, let me just type a random name. Next time I'll use another, maybe an incognito window or another browser that doesn't know me. Or I could just tell Safari to not autocomplete contacts. Let me see. Autofill from my contacts. Nope, don't do that. Safari doesn't respect autocomplete off. Apple, what are you doing? That should be illegal. Yeah, anyway, so I've modified the settings so that hopefully it shouldn't show my people here. Cool. So John Doe at email.com. Okay. So we send our message. So if we press submit and look at our URL, first of all, only one thing has been submitted, and I can guess why. So first of all, you can see Vue or the JavaScript side of our page is not handling things. This is not usually bad. This is how the web is supposed to work. But in an ideal situation, we want to capture all this information and be able to capture this information and be able to programmatically maybe validate it, then submit it, then handle it. Because another big point of using these front-end frameworks is so that we can make the web page behave more like an app. So we don't want this kind of behavior. So we need to be able to handle this. This is how get is sent. It is doing what it's supposed to do according to the web spec. But that is not what we want. That is not user-friendly because every time we gotta wait for the page to refresh for things to happen. All right, so let us go to the browser and fix that, the code editor and fix that. Okay. So the reason why we only saw what we call this, the message being submitted, it doesn't matter now because it won't matter because we'll be handling this internally. But the reason why we did not see other values being submitted apart from message is because these inputs do not have a name. So that is what the name attribute is for. So name, email. Then here also name equals name. So that is what these attributes are for. Then here, the reason why it sent a get request is because that's the default method, and we need to do to set it to post, then action to hash. Not that it matters because we're gonna intercept this anyway. All right. So now if we go back to our browser and try the same, you can see. Let me just remove this part here. So you can see it sends a post request to this place, and the URL is not populated because it now sends a form URL encoded to the server. But now it's sending to this particular, the same page. So this page has no mechanism of handling it and stuff. So in a traditional non-Vue or non-modern JavaScript world, we would do that way. But now we're doing it in a different way here. So let us do this the Vue way. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna come here and use Vue event handlers, which usually start with at, then the event name, submit. So we want to prevent the default browser action. So we call prevent. Then here we call the function to be called. Then we can say our function, we've not created the function yet. Sign book or something. So it tells us the property sign book does not exist because I know it looks like a normal property here, but view is looking for either a variable or a function that has this name from the script side. And view is able to do this because view is compiled. Yeah, which is very cool. So we can do constant sign book. I like creating arrow functions. Many people hate arrow functions. Now it will say variable as any book, blah, 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 blah. So this is some, yeah, so this is it. So whenever we submit, this function will be called. And I see we only have like 5 minutes. So today we're only gonna print these values to console. Then tomorrow we're gonna proceed and handle this server side. All right. So whenever this form is submitted, we're just gonna print console log all this stuff. So we prevented default. Then we're gonna be able to capture this stuff and print it out to the console. And that will be the end of today's video. So console log. What are you doing, Emmett? Let me just type log. All right. So I've used printf so much that I've forgotten how console log works. So can we do? Oh, you can just do with commas. So we can just do name, email, message. All right. So let us see it in action. Action time. Action time. Action time. Action. Open console. Open console. Console code. So if we do John Doe, John at mail.com message. What is wrong with it? Ah, okay, let me just do everything. So let us try John. Something is off with my arrow function. Oh, what happens when I do this? I should just call the function. Oh, this button type is not submit. Oh, let me try and press enter. Basic HTML is eluding me. Okay, so for method post, but any button should be able to submit. Right? All right, so let us see. Now we are debugging HTML. Where's my console? Oh, it was working. I had set the console to evaluations and stuff. So anyway, as you can see, it is printing the proxy object, which contains the raw value of John and Doe. So if we want to print the only the stuff, where can we go back here in a minute? Debugging HTML is so much fun. No. So if we want only the value, so this is ideally what will be submitting to the server, the value, which I'm not allowed to modify, which is now mutable. This is what I can use to modify the value of these things. So ideally, this is name.value, email.value is what I'd submit to the server. So let us do, okay, let us go back here, then do John at gmail.com. Hello. So here is our log. I don't know why this one is not quoted, or the email is quoted. We'll figure that out tomorrow. All right. So that's it. That's our time. We've been able to have a very small form. Yeah, I can say today the progress is much faster than yesterday. Hopefully tomorrow will even be faster. Yeah, but that's it. See you on the next. Bye bye.